Game 2 of the NBA Finals is done. It was a better game than the last one, at least.
A lot better.
I actually missed the first 6 minutes of the game because I thought it started at 5:30 and it started at 5. But it is what it is. PJ, what were your thoughts on that game?
Very Luka game.
Mm.
Just a Luka game. I mean, Tatum, he showed up later,
Mm-hmm.
but he did not show up the first half. I think he had only 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. Jaylen Brown had 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Jrue had 17 points for sure. And Porzingis had 10.
I'm assuming
I
you.
remember those stats.
I'm assuming you know that because you were betting and you were you were stat watching.
I was stat watching for sure. Betting wise, I mean, I have some of those guys on my parlay. I won 6 for 8, so that's a good sign. I could have won $900, but I'll take my $10.
Hey,
Um,
that's what's up.
but even if I was betting or not, I just wanted to see who's looking good for the game. I mean, we're looking at stretches of who's gonna win Finals MVP, and from the first game, Jaylen Brown is the candidate to win it. Everybody thinks he's the best player so far. Right now, I don't know. It could be anybody. I mean, Jrue had a fantastic game. He blew up today, or yesterday.
Yeah, and
So,
for now, I think we could we could start talking about the Celtics because once we get to the Mavs, it's gonna get a little spicy. So let's just get the Celtics out of the way first.
yeah,
Like you mentioned, Drew Holiday, he led the Celtics in scoring 26 points on 11 of 14 from the field. I mean, he was people, we're always talking about how perfect of a fit he was for this team, and he made it known. And as a Bucks, as the resident Bucks watcher and enjoyer, I just want to preface a couple things because I've already seen the discourse about, oh, I can't believe the Bucks traded Drew. I can't believe they, Bucks fans are like, I can't believe I'm watching Drew carry to the Celtics to a championship right now. I'm sick. Let's get a couple things out the way. So first of all, there's going to be some people that are hating on Drew because now he's playing for the Celtics. That's just a loud minority. Lots of Bucks fans, lots of people in general are just happy to see Drew succeed. And if anything, they just don't like the Celtics. It has nothing to do with Drew himself. So anybody that's saying that Bucks fans are hating on Drew, shut up. And the second thing, this whole I saw one person say, I'm happy to see Drew succeed after all the slander he received for the past few years for his playoff performances. I want you to know it's not slander if it's true, okay? I watched these Bucks games and there's stats. Let me read you these stats. Drew's playoff stats during his time with the Bucks, and I'm rounding up with these stats: 18 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, shooting less than 40% from the field and 30% from 3. He was not good on offense with the Bucks. There is no the it wasn't slander. When people say that he was not a good offensive piece for the Bucks, he was not. He was incredible defensively. He always has been. Offensively, you cannot say that this is the same person. And I think it's because on the Celtics, he's a fourth, fifth option scorer, shooting open threes and cutting to the basket off of double teams. And that's perfect. He's not trying to create his own shot. He's not doing his own dribble stuff. And that's awesome. Good for him. But let's not rewrite history and say that he wasn't bricking when Giannis was getting double teamed against the Celtics or the Heat or whoever else. But I'm a Drew Holiday fan. We're one of the only people that were actually rooting for him or like that understood why he was on Team USA. Ran over. I just had to preface that.
it's good that you mentioned that. I mean, it's good that he's running the Celtics now, but you kind of wish he did that in Milwaukee.
But anyways, with that Drew Holiday rant out of the way, uh, speaking of Finals MVP, I legitimately think it's gonna end up being Derek White. I think that he's like the ultimate glue piece, and I think he is, regardless of what the stats show, he might not win it because of stats. But I legitimately think that. Well, I've seen him bail out the Celtics so many times, whether it's defense or it's like a timely three, whatever it is. I've seen him do it so many times, and he is absolutely one of the most important pieces on this team. Yeah, it's early. It's only game two. There could be five more games. You never know. But for me personally, I'm just gonna say Derek White, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, that's fair. I mean, obviously the best player that's showing his best skill set is Luka right now, but I don't think they're gonna do a Jerry West almost LeBron thing for this finals. They're gonna show the guy who's the face of Boston, Jayson
Mm-hmm.
Tatum. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
had good stats too. Like he didn't show up too much on scoring last night, but he almost put up a triple double. The first game he had a double double, 16 and 11. So who knows? I mean, if
Yeah.
it's one of the Jays, it could be the White, it could be Jrue. So it could be one of those four.
Yeah, let's.
Didn't Porzingis get hurt last night too?
Porzingis did get hurt last night. It doesn't sound like he's gonna miss time, but who knows if he's actually like fully healthy. But it doesn't sound like he's gonna miss game three.
Sounds good.
To speak on Jason Tatum, since he is the guy on the Boston Celtics, he put up 18 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds on 6 for 22 shooting. Now I think this is a very nuanced conversation because obviously scoring wise, efficiency wise, he wasn't great. But his passes out of double teams, finding his people, obviously he has 12 assists, so he did great playmaking. That's undeniable. And of course he plays good defense.
Yep.
But let me drop another stat on you real quick. There's six
Okay.
games this playoffs where Tatum has shot under 40%. I believe that's the number. It's either 40 or 35. I'll just say it's 40. In those 6 games, the Boston Celtics are 6-0. 6-0 when their best player, Jason Tatum, shoots under 40% from the field. So, while
Crazy.
I do want to give credit where Jason Tatum deserves credit because he did do great playmaking, he did do a good job at what he did last night, I still have concerns, or I would have concerns if he didn't have this team around him, of how hard he could actually carry a team to a championship. But like I said, I'm gonna give him credit because I don't want to be a hater all the time. I'm not trying to sit here every good moment and be like, well, just wait when he whatever. So, credit to Tatum. I really wish that I want him to succeed. Like I wish I could say, you know what? He did everything great. He was scoring, he was playmaking, he was doing all that. But now I'm kind of like, there's a little part of me that's like, if his team wasn't as good, how much success would he have? But I'm
Mm.
gonna let him live. I'm gonna let him live because he played his role well, even though he took the most shots in the game, and he's shooting like 35% from the finals in his career. But hey, if he's doing enough for the team to win, then he's doing enough for the team to win. So
Let's say Jason Tatum drops 30 points for the next 2 games. Does that make him higher on the MVP, Finals MVP candidate list?
absolutely, because you've already said that they want to give it to the face of Boston. They want to give it to the guy. He's been here for almost as long. I mean, he's only been here 1 year shorter, I guess, than Jaylen Brown. But like, he's been the face for the past however many years. So I think
Mm.
if it's plausible to give it to him, they're gonna give it to him. Um, but yeah, I just
And
if he didn't have such a good team around him, I would still have a lot of concerns about what kind of team he could lead to a championship.
right, potentially it could go your way and say Derek White wins Finals MVP, like a Steph Curry Iguodala situation. So who knows?
Yeah, and I think that this whole playoff run, this whole season for the Celtics has just been a great showing for Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens, the guy making all these trades happen. And, you could say that they weren't like, they're kind of no brainers. It's like, well, of course you'd want to trade for that guy. But,
Mhm.
he made them happen. He made them happen. And he's the guy that has assembled this team. So huge credit to him. Like, he's the finals MVP. Like, he's the guy that
Yeah,
deserves the trophy. But,
100%.
but yeah, this is just a really good team. And, I'll give credit where credit's due. They're just playing really well. Um, But I think that's it for the Celtics because there's not. We already touched on the Porzingis injury, and everyone's just playing well in this team. I guess there's nothing really exciting to talk about with the Celtics. But let's switch gears because we've already mentioned him. Luka tried his best, put up put up 32, 11, and 11, 12 of 21 shooting, 4 of 9 from three, and somebody on Twitter I follow, they were like, "This is the best NBA Finals performance from somebody that can't run faster than 12 miles an hour." And he didn't look healthy at all. He clearly looked like he couldn't run, but he had to do everything for that team.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So,
Kyrie wasn't showing up.
mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
Derek Jones couldn't make wide open three pointers.
Nope.
A lot of players can't finish. Like it's tough. Like Luka has his best team so far, but it potentially could even get better.
Mm-hmm. He is he's
It's tough.
surrounded by a bunch of people that you wouldn't really expect to be in the finals. like like
Yeah,
a lot of these guys, these aren't people you would usually pick to be your role players in the finals. And yet here they are.
I think the main factor of who's not showing up is Kyrie.
Of course. Yeah,
He's
he's
been
terrible.
his best performance was the Western Conference Finals. That was his only best performance. I mean, someone could
Yeah.
say game something of the Clippers game where he dropped like 20 plus points, but the way how Kyrie's playing against the Celtics right now, he's getting locked up by everybody on the team. He has been to the finals. This is his fourth playoff finals, fourth
Mm,
finals. So he's been here so many times. He played a team that you can say is better than the Boston Celtics. I mean, obviously they don't have the same role players. I mean, you could say kind of. I mean, no one replicates J.R. Smith or Deli. No one replicates Kevin Love unless you want to say that's P.J. Washington.
they don't play the same at all. I wouldn't
But you
even.
got a guy in Luca where he could be LeBron, just not athletic LeBron.
I think even past the not athletic part, he's just not even healthy. Like even
No,
if
but
he wants to use his whatever athleticism he has, he's not even running out there. Like
respectfully, although he's not even healthy, there should be no excuse for Kyrie Irving to score so little to a guy who's playing like he's hurt, but is overperforming against the Celtics.
yeah,
It's tough.
and I do think a lot of it is that Boston just has so many good defenders that no matter what, Kyrie and Luca are both gonna have to work really hard for their buckets, which is which is understandable, but that doesn't excuse how bad Kyrie has been. And just to drive it home, compared to the regular season, he's down 4 points and 2 points in field goal percentage and 3 point percentage. Being in Dallas will help Kyrie, but Jason Kidd's really got to figure something out with the offense. They and I saw other people point this out, so I'm not going to take credit for it. But Indiana was scoring like crazy against the Celtics.
They
because
were.
they played with pace. They didn't let the defense get comfortable. They didn't let them get set. So
They
I don't
were.
know if Dallas can do that. I don't even know if they're capable of doing that with Luka hobbled like this. But Dallas has to figure something out because all the buckets they're getting are just like hero shots from Luka or like last minute drives from PJ Washington with like a second on the shot clock. So they got to figure something out. I don't know
Uh,
what. I'm not smart enough, but it's
are we gonna talk about the foul that could have happened and
we
potentially changed the
we
game?
we can. So there, if you didn't watch the game, there was a fast break dunk. I believe the Mavs were down 5, and PJ Washington got fouled. He got pushed in the back on the way up to dunk the ball, and there was no foul call. And then he got blocked, and then the ball just went back to Boston. So, and it looked weird to me also because when they showed the replay, they also showed the Derek White getting PJ Washington in the hand. But the weird thing to me was just when they showed the replay, the ball, when he went to dunk the ball, he was just like short of the rim. Like it's like he didn't jump high enough. I was like, that's weird. I was like, what? How did that even
The
happen?
eagle makes it look like it. He
It,
jumped high, but it's not.
it, well, the thing was, it's because he got pushed in the back from Jaylen Brown because they showed the one angle where it showed uh where they showed it from like the backboard view. So you don't see him get pushed in the back, so it just looks like he didn't get high enough to jump. But it's because he got pushed in the back. That's why he couldn't even get up there. But it didn't get called. Game ends. Five. Well, I mean, whatever. They just don't foul and the game ends.
I should have asked you who ref that Knicks game against the Pacers
Uh,
because I know that in this finals we have one of the worst. We have two of the worst refs that I know for sure in NBA history.
I don't know which Knicks Pacers game.
The one where they filed like 42 non-calls.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
You brought it up in an episode.
Yeah, I don't know. That might. I mean, that was also partly Rick Carlisle just being on bull.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure he's the one that submitted that, or he like, he was like these all should have been fouls or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I know that foul definitely could have changed the game, but that doesn't excuse the team shooting 25% from three, 23% from three. Like,
It doesn't, but it could potentially change.
oh no, yeah,
A factor in the game.
no, yeah.
Could have been a 3-point game. It could have been a 4-point game, and definitely not a 7-point game.
I just don't think the Mavericks deserve an excuse. That's how I see it. I just don't think they even deserve to say, "Oh well, only if only they called that foul, then we could have," because
Well, Kyrie doesn't need any excuses. He just needs to show up.
oh, that's not even. Yeah, I'm just saying. I wasn't even gonna bring it up because I didn't think. I think they had bigger issues than that foul, much bigger issues. But yeah, now they're down 2-0, and I believe there have been like 36 or something times where in the NBA Finals a team has gone down 2-0. Only 5 times has that team that went down 2-0 actually come back to win. And I'm gonna list you all the teams that made the comeback, and then I want you to tell me if you think the Mavericks have what it takes. So the most recent one, 2021, good old Milwaukee Bucks, after being down 2-0 to Phoenix, the one time where saying just wait till we just wait till we get back to our home games actually made sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks came back 4-2, winning 4 straight against the Suns. 2016, Cleveland Cavaliers down 2-0 to the 73-9 Warriors, come back 3-1, and that's a classic. Kyrie Irving, of course, hitting
Yep.
that shot that honestly altered his career.
Yeah.
Without that shot, who knows where he is?
I mean, I don't want to excuse his shot.
I'm not excusing
I
anything.
mean,
I'm
he
not.
was a good player in Cleveland, but he obviously is not a leader.
I know. I'm just saying he got a lot of reputation off that shot. Is all I'm saying.
More reputation for
Yeah,
sure.
that's all. 2006, Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. Look at that. They went up 2-0 against the Miami Heat. Dwayne Wade and the crew comes back, and Miami Heat win 4-2. And then the only other ones are from the 70s and 60s. Portland and Bill
Is this
Walton.
the one?
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
Portland and Bill Walton beat Dr. J and the 76ers, and then Bill Russell and the Celtics beat Jerry West and the Lakers. So,
Hmm.
knowing that these are the only 5 teams to come back down 2-0 in the finals, do you still think the Mavericks can do it against this juggernaut?
Well, I called them in for Game 6 because they never been to Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I was looking at the amount of games they won and where they won, and when they won. If they don't win their third game, I'm expecting a sweep. It's just because I've said that every game two, every game two for the Mavs they've won when they were down one. Uh, every one game, or even with the Timberwolves, they won game 3, and then they lose after. They lose in game 4, because with the Timberwolves, I think they lost game 4. Yeah. So if the Mavs win here, the next game, and they lose it, I believe they could potentially show a 2016 3-1 comeback,
Ooh, that would
and
be
we'll
wild.
have another Kyrie crazy game winner. Potentially, maybe PJ Washington, some like role player on the team will hit that shot. If not, it's a sweep for sure. That's the 2 options that I have. So for the Mavs to come back, obviously I've talked a lot about Kyrie, and Kyrie's the definite option to show up because this whole playoff so far, yes, he's shown that he is the second option, but PJ Washington has kind of overshined him in a couple of senses.
Mm-hmm. So, I think that at this point, the Mavericks can only win in 7. I think that they have to win every home game from this point on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, because if Kyrie, let's assume Kyrie can get right at home, right? Let's say in Dallas, he plays fine. He plays good enough for them to win. It's
Yep.
tied 2-2. Then they go back to Boston. There's no guarantee he's gonna hold up. So then it's like, all right, so now you're down 3-2. Now you're going back home. Now you have to win again, or else it's over. So I feel like they just have to, if they don't win these next 2 games, it's a wrap. It's a wrap to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just wish Luka was healthier, because this guy's playing out of his goddamn mind. He's not playing well on defense. Also say it, he's not, but he's hurt and he's doing literally everything for them offensively to the point
That
where it's like I don't want to put the blame on you because of what you're providing for this team in other ways.
so if Luka wasn't hurt, would you expect 40-point games from Luka?
He probably
50?
could. I mean, he's
Because
dropping
him
32.
playing hurt is crazy.
He's literally not even running. He's literally not running. Like, he is very clearly hobbled. Like, he, I don't know. It sucks. And I know he's playing Boston, but to a certain extent, if you're good enough, the defense just doesn't matter for you. It clearly matters for the rest of the team. But for
Mm-hmm.
Luka, he could score on anybody. It's just the rest of the team can't get going, and injured Luka, unfortunately, is not going to do enough to beat a team this good.
Can you tell me? I know this is not an off-season episode. Can you tell me how much Luka has left on his contract?
I believe he's due for an insanely large extension like this offseason or next. 'Cause, I mean, he made All NBA however many times in a row, so now he's like
Yeah.
now he's like a godly supermax. He has 2 years left on this contract, and
Okay.
then a player option after that,
Okay.
and then he's getting the fattest deal of all time.
Mm, I might talk big early and this isn't an off-season episode, but I'm leaning on it a little bit. I think if the Mavs lose this, I think you got to break up the Kyrie and Luka two-man because Kyrie will show up in the regular season for sure, and it would look fantastic seeing Luka and Kyrie, two good scoring options in the Mavericks. Uh, Me personally, like I said, I'd break them up, and I'd probably set up Luka with a two-way score, and
Yeah.
that's the best option for this team. I feel like both of them are obviously not defensively the best. Like Kyrie's defense was shown good during the Timberwolves run, for sure. Like he'll get like two steals here and there in the rest of the playoff series, but he's his biggest thing is scoring, and
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously the Celtics is blocking that shit off.
Yeah. That's putting it. That sounds about right.
Like the Mavs are looking good for a new team that just got made this year, and they made it to the finals, and that's a big upside for the GM because he traded really well.
Hmm.
But just the fact that they're losing right now is kind of like Kyrie's not the piece that makes it to the finals unless he shows up for the next two games.
I just want to say, because there was a few people. It's mostly just some analysts or whatever. They were saying this is like the best offensive backcourt of all time. No, no, it's not.
On paper, it is. On paper,
No,
it is. It's not just
Stephen Clay is still better. Stephen Clay is still better,
offensively.
bro. Clay, bro, you got to remember Prime Clay. You have to think back.
I know Prime Clay,
That's what I'm. Okay, well,
but what I'm saying is like
no, but Kyrie. Okay, but Kyrie's part of this equation, bro. Like this is the one half of the best offensive backcourt of all time. Of all time, this guy right now.
here. I'll say this. I'll say this. I'm gonna pause you real quick.
No, go ahead. I'm not even.
Offensively,
I'm not even going.
Stephen Clay is the best backcourt drafted from the like just drafted. But like assembling and putting together offensively, Luka and Kyrie in your head they should be better. But Luka has always been him, and Kyrie is falling off
Okay,
year
but
by year.
you say should be,
They
but
should be,
but
but
they're
they're
not though. Okay, I get the should be. I get the on paper, but I'm watching the game. I can see
no
what's
yeah.
I can see what's happening. Kyrie is not in that. I'm watching it. Like he's just not doing it. It was just preemptive. This whole best offensive backcourt ever. Because as good as Luka is, Curry's still better offensively. He's still better. Like that's Curry's whole shtick. Like he literally changed the game with his offense. Like literally changed the game. So as good as Luka is, Curry still one ups him on that. So
Yeah.
I don't think I just can't put this duo. If Kyrie shows up, hey, prove me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Prove me wrong. Score efficiently, at least put up 20. You got to put up 20 at least once this series. If you can't do that, hey, come on. Come on.
Saying that just because, like I said, on paper, or how we viewed Kyrie before playing with Luka should be. It's in the list of should be the one of the best fives, but you're right. The one of the best backward duos, but you're right on the Stephen Clay. But for sure, hands down, drafted into the team that they play for is Stephen Clay. If there's another backward series in the backcourt duo in the future, who knows?
Hmm. All right. I think we pretty much touched on everything. We've pretty much given a second prediction halfway through the series, potentially. Uh, yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Game 3 is on Wednesday in Dallas. You know, praying just for some good basketball from both sides. That
Mm-hmm.
means you, Kyrie. No, I'm just playing.
Another
Uh,
thing too, Jason Tatum is gonna score a lot. He does really well in home away games. I've been preaching this. It's like they're taking turns. Jalen Brown, he scores the most at home, or it's more on him at home, and then Jason Tatum away, he scores more. Kind of statistically kind of proven if you look through the games. So yeah,
we'll
I have
keep an
him
eye on that.
over on any parlays for game three.
We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if Jason Tatum can shoot more than 40% for the first time in his life in the finals. And
I don't think it's more than 40%, but he'll make shots.
and just real quick before we get out of here, I don't hate Jason Tatum. It's a bit. I just think it's funny to slander Jason Tatum. If Kyrie Irving keeps this up, it's done for him. It's over for him. Where he's not seeing the end of it on this channel. Well, anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode of covering the finals. This is the Hooper Soul podcast. I am Jacob. It's my co-host.
PJ,
Okay, it didn't come through.
you're good. I didn't know. Sometimes you'd
No,
be
I
like,
know.
"This is
Yeah,
oh, it's PJ," so I'm like,
I know.
cut me off guard. Like PJ.
All right. We'll see y'all soon. Peace out.
Peace.